Okay, we're going to call our meeting to order. Could I get a roll call, please?
Diane Salter, here. Kevin McCollum.
Here.
Lisa Cavaluna.
Here.
Bob Eismeyer.
Here.
Marion Dwyer.
Here.
John Chartier.
Here.
Deb Brady.
Here.
Dr. Outlaw. Jan Meek.
Here.
Christy Spann.
Here.
Carol Hamus.
Here.
Got it moved?
Yes.
All right. Could we all rise for pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, here's what I want to do. For our public comments right now, I think there are several people I saw sign up there, so we probably have a little bit of a list. We're going to have a 3-minute time limit. I'm going to time it. And if you're talking and you're going on, I'm going to go like that. And that means you got to wrap it up. Ms. Austin is first on the list.
She is.
Hi friends, Andrea, can you hear me? Yeah?
Yeah.
Andrea Austin, Brandon parent, 3 kids in the district, PTA member, all that good stuff. Here we are again at another summer meeting. So I wanted to, I know our big possible vote's coming up about sex ed. I just wanted to throw a couple comments in there that, you know, this board has faced so many difficult decisions in the past year, like the kind that I'm sure you've lost a lot of sleep with so many building closures and layoffs and these budget things. I hope that you can feel better about this decision. You have the backing of at least 94% of your parents. I mean, I haven't seen a single parent come to these meetings against the abstinence-based program. And once again, I commend all the decisions you've made, and I've been so proud of the decisions that you've made with the pool and everything. And I hope that they'll, you know, still keep bagging a perfect average, in my opinion. But I feel that I want you to know that you can sleep well by voting in favor of abstinence-based education. And the most important thing in my head right now is the realization that today, with abstinence-only education, is that if a student comes to a teacher or any educator and asks for help with contraception or advice in that department, they must be turned away. And that is so scary to me, to think that a student is looking for help, advice, guidance. Where do I go to purchase? What do I do? We don't know what this child's situation is at home. And the fact that that student today must be turned away because we can't advise on contraception unless we endorse abstinence-based education, that scares me. So just feel that there are students at risk right now, and if we can get this program going, we can be rest assured that we can be a safe place for students that need help in our district. Thank you. Good luck with your vote today. Rest easy. I believe in you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Stephanie?
I didn't know I was signing up to make a comment. I really didn't.
No, you're on the hook now. Get up here.
I think you've got to come back next month too.
Stephanie, if I may, though, how do I pronounce your last name?
Alowski?
Alowski. Okay. So you're passing?
Yeah, I'm passing on the comments.
Okay. 3 minutes. Sarah Leone?
I should have said
Hi, I'm Sarah Leone. I have 2 kids in the district. I'm new to to the school board meetings, but I just wanted to say that if we have to teach, we're government mandated to teach kids about AIDS and HIV. Why would we put such a heavy burden on them and such a big fear without teaching them the preventative measures to keep them from getting AIDS and HIV? I had a friend when I was little who was afraid at camp to even use the bathroom toilets because her mom had her so scared about HIV. So I want to make sure that if kids are taught about HIV and AIDS, they're also taught ways to prevent HIV and AIDS to eliminate that fear. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. DePalma?
Hello, Dana DePalma,
and I know you've heard me speak before, but I'm just going to speak one more time because I feel so strongly about this. If you vote no tonight, it goes back to the committee. It has to come back. It's going to be too late for this school year. We're going to lose another year. You're going to send 8th graders to high school with nothing. You're going to then send 5th graders back to the middle school with nothing, around other 6th, and then 7th and 8th graders with nothing. I just can't see how you can just keep swiping this under and swiping this under. There's not more time. It's not like you can fix the roof in another year. These are children you're talking about, and their years are going, and they're going, and they're learning, and they're learning in the wrong places. They're learning on the internet. They're learning from friends who learned on the internet, or from friends who learned wrong stuff. How can you not teach them how to be protecting themselves when they decide to engage? Not saying we're teaching them to engage, we're teaching them at some point, because where else can they learn this? Yes, some parents might talk to them, but some might not. And you want to try to help the ones who might not. And the ones who don't want it can opt out. We cannot opt in. As a township, okay, so how can you vote no on this too when 94% of the people who responded to the survey wanted this? I feel that's a good representation of our township. I know as a township trustee, when 94% of the residents want something, I agree with the residents. I take myself out of it, even if I'm against it. I'm here to represent my residents, not my own feelings. The residents want this. Represent the residents. I'm an accountant. I'm not qualified to teach my children sex ed. How can you put this back on the parents? Let's have someone qualified where the kids trust them. The kids might not listen to, my kids don't listen to me. You know your kids probably always didn't listen to you. They're going to listen to the teachers and the advisors. And I know many more people want this. They just can't be here because of baseball, vacation, summer, work, whatever it is. I have not talked to one single person in this township who does not want this. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Jennifer Maino.
Hello, I was on the advisory board. I've spoken at a lot of meetings, so I hate to repeat myself. I almost just didn't want to come up here tonight. But one of the reasons I came up was because I want you to know that as parents and educators and health educators, we and clergy and students and whoever else, I don't remember all the titles at the advisory committee meetings, we actually took a lot of time to do research. We weren't just trying to get our own agenda passed. None of us really had an agenda when we came into it. Some of us might have been on one side or the other, but really what it came down to was what the research shows. And I think that when you create curriculum or you create policy for your district, that's what you need to look at, is what the research shows. We do that all the time. We do it all the time with our curriculum, with everything that we teach our kids. It's what the research shows. And currently, the research shows that young people between the ages of 15 and 24 account for the highest rates of chlamydia and gonorrhea and almost 2/3 of all reported cases of them. And also, half of the estimated 20 million new STDs diagnosed each year. Half of all new STDs diagnosed each year are from children and young people ages 15 to 24. It's not going to go away. So I'm going to leave that right there.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to address the board before we go on to our scheduled meeting?
I'm Cheryl Taylor. I wasn't planning on speaking, but I do want to just reiterate what the ladies were saying, that it's important that we educate the kids, that knowledge is power, and our jobs as educators and parents is to empower our children. And we get one, as everybody said, get one chance at this. And my child is one of the ones who got bypassed already. luckily, I had conversations with him, but not every child is that lucky. So, thank you.
Okay, we are moving into our agenda business for the evening. We first of all have our consent agenda. Do we have a motion regarding our consent agenda?
I move the Brandon Board of Education approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second?
All those in favor of approval of our consent agenda as presented, please vote by saying yes.
Yes.
Any opposed? Okay. Jan, anything to add to finance?
Yeah, I just wanted to spend a couple minutes here. Tonight, you'll be voting on the school bond loan fund, the annual application. Every July, this is mandated from the state. I just wanted to reiterate a couple bullet points. We will be borrowing this year through the year 2020, starting to make our debt payments. Starting in 2021, 4 years from now, the district will go into repayment mode, so that's good, so that we can repay our school bond loan fund by 2031-32. So borrowing this year and 3 more years, but then the projection is we will not be doing that anymore. Other than that, what this does tonight, the resolution is in the fall and in the spring, we make debt payments twice a year, and I do a calculation, see how much tax money we've gotten in, what the debt payment is, and then the difference between the two of that, send a form to Treasury, and we get the money in order to make that payment. We do not have a choice. Our bonds are qualified through the state, so we are mandated to do this borrowing, and it's a good program. But the good news is 3 more years after this year, and we'll be out of the borrowing mode.
So essentially, it's a formality that we have to do because we are obligated by the state to do it anyway.
Absolutely obligated, and the state wants to plan, so this is due August 1st, so then I'll send this and let them know, what we'll need to borrow. When they send me the form, they already know what our debt payments are. They know all this, so then I just fill in the part of our tax collections and that type of thing. So it is a formality, and they request it so they can plan how much they're going to have to loan.
So 3 more years?
Yep, starting in 2021, unless something crazy happens with our taxable value, our property taxes, we will be repaying, so no more borrowing to make those debt
I
payments.
thought we were already close to that, not borrowing.
Well, when we refunded, no, we were going to be borrowing, when we refunded, we changed the schedule a tad in order to save the money. We refunded the school bond loan fund in 2015. In 5 years, we're going to pay off the school bond loan fund refunding.
Okay.
So then that's why the debt payments reduce substantially, so the need to borrow goes away. And we did all of that in order to save like $11 million for the taxpayers. Yeah. So we have a lower interest rate now than we did before.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of curious, why are we still borrowing,
Well, we're borrowing to pay off the school bond loan fund that we refinanced, and we had to pay back in 5 years.
Okay.
And the accrued interest is so much less than it was before. When we did the borrowing 2 years ago, we owed $50 million, so our accrued interest every year was astronomical. So we were saving on that accrued interest because we have, a much lower balance.
Anything else, Jan?
No, that was all I had for tonight.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
Christie?
I guess first I just would like to ask, there are questions about the Chinese Cinderella that I didn't have a chance to address earlier. I know I've brought it up over each of the last 2 months, but I bought 4 copies and
I skimmed through it, it was pretty good.
I didn't get to go through it. What was it?
it's a realistic, it's a biography of a woman who was born in China, the 4th child, and her mom died shortly after birth from an infection. She was seen as bad luck. Her family treated her poorly, but she was able to grow up and overcome those hardships. She came to the United States, where she is the head of, I think, anesthesiology now, and also an author for adults, as well as this biography for kids, which is predicated on a New York Times best-selling biography that she wrote.
Hearing none.
Okay. The only other thing I guess I would add is that at 7th grade social studies, we're going to pilot an online textbook. We'll have some of the hardcover backups as well. but it is along the same series that we have for our 6th grade TCI History Alive series, which has been really successful, really engaging for kids. And with our purchase of Chromebooks at the middle school this year, and kids will have access to be able to interact with textbooks online. This is a really exciting prospect to have a teacher who'd like to pilot this. For anybody who hasn't had access to online textbooks before, kids have a login, they would log in, and then they would have the ability to highlight, underline, make notes in their virtual text, and at the end of the year, it all goes away. So right now, they can't write in a textbook, but this would give them the ability to actually do those things that we teach them, our good practices. They could actually do it.
Can they access that from a tablet? Yep.
So that's just an FYI.
Okay. All right, we're going on to our action items. Our first one is approval of the proposal for 6th grade honors ELA textbook adoption, which was the Chinese Cinderella just spoken about by Christie.
Move that Brandon Board of Education approve the proposal to adopt and purchase Chinese Cinderella, 60 copies, at a cost of $480 to be used with the 6th grade honors ELA course starting fall 2017 as presented. Support.
Any additional discussion on this? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor of the proposal, please vote by saying yes.
Yes.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. All right, next one. Approval of the 4th and 5th grade sex education curriculum.
Move that the Brandon Board of Education approve Puberty, the Wonder Years as the curriculum for the 4th and 5th grade health education as presented.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion on the matter of the 4th and 5th grade sex education other than what we've had already this evening? Hearing and seeing none. All those in favor of approving the 4th and 5th grade sex education curriculum as presented, please vote by saying yes.
Yes.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Next, approval of sex education change.
Move the Brandon Board of Education approve of change from abstinence-only sex education to abstinence-based sex education as presented. Support.
We could do a roll call vote on that.
We certainly can. Any further discussion on this topic before we take our vote?
Yeah, I do. A no vote in this doesn't mean you're against abstinence-based. It's just against what was recommended to us on our sheet of paper. Also, the 94% came up again. 94% of the community wants sex education for kids. They did not want what was proposed. It's down closer to 34 to 35% of the community voted for the proposition coming out of committee. So I just want to get that clarification in. And then last is, I just don't think that we're going to lose a year. I think we have some time, and that this is not the last chance. There are some times to tweak and get this down, but those were the numbers. And if I'm correct, right, Christy?
Yeah, we have time.
Yeah.
What were the numbers that you said?
That 94% of the parents want sex education taught to kids.
That 94% came to the first survey that went out, and they said that 94% agreed that teaching about intervention, contraceptives, was what they were saying.
No.
It was about the interventions.
It's actually it's in the packet that was for the public, and it says that sex education is taught.
Yeah.
And
I have it
it's
here.
in that packet, so just
Hold on.
referring it back.
So I just want that number keeps getting thrown out. It was the second survey that brought it down to 35% want the contraceptives. Hold on, I have my little chart here that I just printed up.
It was in the second survey, 68 of, I believe, 204 people said that they wanted the contraceptive modeling specifically to be taught.
No, I
So
don't.
I think that's what you're referring to now?
Yes.
Okay, which is 36%.
So no, I do not have it. Sorry, I just have the one with the...
36% wanted the modeling.
And that's where I'm just going back to a vote could be what the community wants.
Okay, so
So,
can we summarize by, if I understand what you're saying, is you're saying that the vast majority of the community is in favor of a, I'll call it a sexual education curriculum.
yes.
You are saying a smaller subset of that is in favor of the modeling. Is that what
Or
you're?
the committee's recommendation.
And to further clarify, it's those who participated in the survey,
In
not
the
the
survey.
majority of the community. It would be those who participated in the survey,
Okay,
not reflective of any of those who didn't, which is a whole other topic, I guess.
okay. Any other discussion on the matter before we go for a vote?
I have one comment. I'd like to thank the committee people who spent their time, who gathered the research, you put a proposal together, and I appreciate that time.
I also appreciate the clarification that the curriculum is based off of the state level model, and that it can be managed over time to the district's needs. So I think that was an important clarification.
Okay, would you please do a roll call vote?
Yes, I will.
John?
Okay, ready?
Yes.
Okay. Diane Salter, no. Kevin McClellan,
Yes.
Lisa Cavaluna,
Yes.
Bob Eisminer,
No.
Marion Dwyer,
Yes.
John Chartier,
No.
Deb Brady.
Yes.
And it's 4 yeses, 3 noes.
Okay, motion carries. Our next item is approval of bid for high school bathroom project.
Move the Brandon Board of Education award the bid to R.L. White Construction, Inc. for the high school bathroom project in the amount not to exceed $64,950 as presented.
Support.
Okay, any further discussion on the bathroom project beyond what we've had already this evening?
Just to mention, this is 2 bathrooms at the high school. This is the bathroom near the high school gymnasium and across from the STEM lab. There are 2. The third one we've already done. We've already done 1 bathroom at the high school. This is money that had been set aside for Fletcher bathrooms, which we no longer have to do. It's not out of the general fund, it comes out of the capital project fund, which is money that we earned by selling the Oakwood property. That's it.
Okay. Any other discussion on bathrooms? All those in favor of awarding the bid to R.L. White Construction for the high school bathroom project, please vote by saying yes.
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 Any opposed?
Can I use the bathroom?
No. I guess I just want to preface some of these last things. We're going to talk about some labor contracts right now. And the main thing I guess I want to say is primarily what these are interim labor contracts to take us past the student count in the fall, which we'll better know than our financial position to open up negotiations then. So that's what the labor contracts are that we're going to vote on right now. Is that pretty straightforward
Yeah,
explanation?
successor agreement. was a
Successor agreement.
Technical.
Stopgap,
Yeah,
successor. This
So
is
everybody understands
identical
what we're
to the
doing.
teachers.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, we did the teachers last month that modeled these. Okay, first one is approval of the Brandon Administrators Association labor contract.
Move that the Brandon Board of Education approve the Brandon Administrators Association labor contract as presented.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion on this from what we talked before? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor of the Brandon Administrators Association labor contract, please vote by saying yes.
Yes.
Yes. Any
Yes.
opposed? Okay, the next one is the Brandon Education Support Personnel.
Move the Brandon Board of Education approve the Brandon Education, excuse me, Support Personnel Association labor contract as presented.
Support.
Okay, again, any further discussion on this labor contract? All those in favor of approving the Brandon Education Support Personnel Association labor contract, please vote by saying yes.
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 Any opposed? Okay, next is approval of the Food Service Employees labor contract.
Move that the Brandon Board of Education approve the food service employee labor contract as presented.
Support.
Okay. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor of approving the Food Service Employees labor contract as presented, please vote by saying yes.
Yes.
Okay. Approval of transportation employees labor contract.
Move the Brandon Board of Education approve the transportation employees labor contract as presented.
Support?
Okay. Any discussion on this one? All those in favor of the approval of the transportation employees labor contract, please vote by saying yes.
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 Okay. Okay, our next item, approval of the contract extension for operations of the wastewater treatment plant.
Move that Brandon Board of Education approve the contract extension with Highland Treatment Incorporated in the amount of $6,177 monthly, totaling $74,124 annually for managing our wastewater treatment plant for the 2017-18 fiscal year as presented.
Second.
I'd like to know how much of that is for dog food. Any discussion?
Any comments on this? This is in the annual group, we always have to have somebody managing our water treatment plant. And we had Oakland County Water Resource Commission for many years. Last year, we made a change to the Highland Treatment Company, which was considerably less expensive. And we've had a great experience with them this year. So this is a contract extension for 1 year.
Okay, all those in favor of approving the contract extension for Highland Treatment, please vote by saying yes.
Yes.
Yes. Any opposed? Okay. Approval of our school loan bond fund resolution.
Move the Brandon Board of Education approve the school board school bond loan resolution as presented.
Yes. Second.
Okay, and again, this is what was explained to us by Jan earlier this evening, so any further questions on that? All right. All those in favor of approving the school loan bond fund resolution, please vote by saying yes.
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 Okay. Okay, citizens input. Would anybody like to address the board before we go into a closed session for Dr. Outlaw's evaluation? Okay. All right, with that, could I get a motion to enter closed session for discussing the superintendent's evaluation?
Move that the Brandon Board of Education approve to enter a closed session for the purpose of discussing Superintendent Outlaw's evaluation.
Second?
Okay, all those in favor of entering closed session, please vote by saying yes.
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 Opposed? Okay, we'll take a 5-minute adjournment and then we'll be in closed session. Thank you, everybody.